All right, so we're diving into a career that's both in demand and really makes a difference. Audiology equipment specialized seller.
Yeah, it's a cool blend of healthcare and technology.
Helping people hear better, that's got to be rewarding. And to help you land that job, we've got two guides from RoleCatcher, the career guide and their interview guide.
Both packed with insights.
They even have this AI that helps tailor your answers, but we'll get to that later. First, let's tackle some of those interview questions from the guide.
Sounds good. The first one they ask is, tell us about your experience in the audiology equipment industry.
Seems simple enough, right?
Sure, but what are they really looking for?
Well, they don't just want a list of your past jobs. Think about what you learned. What were your wins? Like, did you ever have to explain a complex device to someone who was nervous about technology?
Ah, so it's about showing you understand the industry and how to connect with customers.
Exactly. The career guide mentions a sales rep who closed a big deal with a clinic by understanding their specific needs and recommending a custom solution. So it's not just about selling a product. It's about providing a solution that improves people's lives.
Right on. And that leads us to the next question. How do you stay up to date with the latest trends?
So how do you shine in your answer here?
Show them you're proactive. Attending conferences is good, but think about specific journals like the Hearing Journal or Audiology Today.
I see. Show them you go deeper.
Yeah, maybe you follow industry experts on social media or even listen to podcasts about new hearing aid technology like AI-powered noise cancellation. By the way, RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you weave in those specific details into your answers naturally.
That's really cool, using RoleCatcher's AI to make your answers more concrete. But let's move on to the next question. How do you approach the sales process?
Oh, this is an interesting
I
one.
imagine empathy plays a big role here.
Huge. You're dealing with people's health and well-being. What questions could you ask to really understand their needs beyond just trying to sell the most expensive hearing aid?
Hmm, that's a good point. So it's not just about pushing products.
Right. Think about their lifestyle, their specific hearing challenges, their comfort level with technology.
So how do you demonstrate that empathy in your answer during the interview?
Instead of saying, I'm empathetic, give a specific example, like a time you went the extra mile for a customer. Maybe you helped someone who was nervous about new technology feel more comfortable. Explain things clearly. Offer extra support during the trial period.
Showing, not just telling.
Exactly. And this ties into what the career guide emphasizes, building long-lasting relationships with your customers.
It's not just about closing a sale. It's about being a valuable resource.
Absolutely. Speaking of challenges, let's talk about the dreaded difficult customer question. I mean, we've all been there, right?
Oh, for sure. The interview guide asks, tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult customer. What was the situation and how did you handle it? What's the best way to approach this one?
Well, don't just tell a horror story. Focus on a time you turned a negative situation into a positive outcome.
So like how you learned from the experience.
Yeah, maybe a customer complaint led to a process improvement, or you de-escalated a tense situation by staying calm and professional. Highlight your problem-solving skills.
Show that you can think on your feet. Which brings us to the next question. How do you prioritize your sales leads?
This is where you demonstrate those organizational skills, that strategic thinking.
So how would you answer that? What factors would you consider when prioritizing leads?
Well, I'd consider their level of need, their budget, their timeline, and the potential for long-term business. Like a growing audiology clinic would probably be a higher priority than an individual customer.
Oh, you wouldn't want to dismiss those individuals entirely.
Of course not. They could lead to referrals or repeat business. It's all about finding that balance.
Right. And using tools like a CRM can help you stay organized and on track.
Definitely. Now, this next question really lets you think big. How do you develop new business opportunities in the audiology equipment industry?
Ooh, this one's about being entrepreneurial.
Exactly. Identify potential growth areas and think outside the box. You could target underserved communities, maybe veterans or musicians who have unique needs.
Interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Or explore partnerships with other healthcare providers like ENT doctors or speech therapists.
Great idea. And what about leveraging technology?
Oh, that's crucial. Create informative content on social media or host webinars. Networking is key to attending industry events and building those relationships.
Speaking of networking, the career guide mentions some great organizations like the American Academy of Audiology and the International Hearing Society,
Ah, those are excellent resources. Joining shows you're serious about your career.
and gives you access to so much valuable information. Now let's look at the final question in this set. How do you measure the success of your sales efforts? I'm guessing they want to hear more than just, I hit my sales quota.
You got it. While sales are important, it's about a more holistic view. Think customer satisfaction, customer retention, referrals. These are signs of long-term success.
So instead of just listing those things, how do you impress the interviewer with your answer?
Give specific examples. Maybe you implemented a customer feedback system that boosted satisfaction, or you developed a referral program that brought in new business. Be data-driven. Show your commitment to constant improvement.
Show them you're always looking for ways to do better.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher's AI can be super helpful here. It helps identify those keywords and phrases that hiring managers love and suggests ways to weave them into your answers naturally.
Wow, it's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket. We've covered a lot, but there's more to explore. Let's take a moment for this all to sink in. When we come back, we'll dive into more insightful questions from the interview guide and see how RoleCatcher's AI can really be your secret weapon.
Welcome back. Ready for more of those interview questions?
Absolutely. Let's dive right in.
Okay, how about this one? What are your salary expectations?
Oh yeah, the salary question. Everyone wants to know how to handle that one.
It's a tricky one, but definitely expect it. Do your research beforehand. Use websites like Glassdoor or salary.com.
Right, get a sense of the average range for the role.
Yeah.
And factor in your own experience and qualifications.
Exactly. And instead of giving one specific number, consider a range. Shows you're flexible, but know your worth.
Smart strategy. Now, the guide also asks about, what are your strengths and weaknesses? That one can be tough if you're not prepared.
Totally. For strengths, focus on those that are relevant to the job, like communication skills, building rapport, knowledge of audiology equipment, and always back them up with specific examples.
So not just, I'm a good communicator, but something like, I'm good at explaining complex technical stuff to customers in a way they understand, and my customer satisfaction ratings prove it.
Perfect. Now, for weaknesses, pick something you're actively working on improving. Don't choose something critical to the job.
And frame it positively, right?
Right, like I can get caught up in details and lose sight of the bigger picture, but I'm taking a business development course to improve my strategic thinking.
Turning a weakness into an opportunity for growth. Very nice.
Now, let's talk about why are you interested in this role?
Time to show that passion.
Connect your personal values to the company's mission, the impact of the role. The career guide stresses finding a company whose values align with yours.
Right, like that story in the guide about the sales rep who was drawn to the company's commitment to providing affordable hearing solutions to those who couldn't normally access them. That's powerful.
Stories are so effective. Do you have a personal connection to hearing loss? Maybe a story about how it's impacted you or someone you know? Sharing that can make your answer even more genuine.
That's a great tip. Okay, now the question about where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This is where you show your ambition and how you fit into the company's long-term plans.
Research the company's growth plans, see how your skills align.
Exactly. And it's okay to be ambitious. The career guide encourages people to think big leadership roles, specialization, all of that.
Shows you're driven and committed.
Absolutely. Okay, ready for a question that sometimes throws people off. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes. Not just a formality.
Have some thoughtful questions ready that show you've done your research. Ask about company culture, professional development, their plans for the future.
I always like to ask about the team I'd be working with, their dynamics, what makes them tick, anything I should know to collaborate effectively.
Love that. Shows you're team-oriented. Oh, and don't be afraid to take notes during the interview so you can refer to them when asking your questions. Shows you're engaged.
Great tip. Let's talk about RoleCatcher's AI again, because it can be a real game changer when prepping for these questions.
For sure. It analyzes job descriptions to find those keywords and phrases, helping you tailor your answers.
Like, if the job description emphasizes customer service, the AI might suggest you use phrases like building rapport or active listening.
Exactly. And it can even analyze your responses and give feedback on your tone and delivery. It has this video feature where you practice answering questions on camera and get feedback on your body language and everything.
Wow, a virtual mock interview. That's awesome. Before we move on, let's revisit the career guide for a moment.
One thing that stood out to me was the focus on specialization. Becoming an expert in a specific area, like cochlear implants, can make you really stand out.
And it also highlights the importance of staying ahead of the curve, especially with technology. This field moves fast.
Totally. Attending conferences, reading articles, even following tech blogs, and you can even mention these resources during your interview.
Show them you're serious about staying up to date.
Exactly. We've covered a lot, but we have a few more questions and insights to share. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll wrap up this deep dive with final tips to help you nail that interview and land that audiology equipment specialized seller job.
Okay, we're back for the final stretch. Ready to seal the deal and make that audiology equipment specialized seller job yours.
Let's do it. We've talked about the questions, the career insights, the AI tools. Now it's about bringing it all together, polishing that presentation.
Perfect. So what are some of those final touch tips that can make all the difference?
Well, first off, research the company. Don't just skim their website. Dig deeper. Check their recent news, maybe even look up the interviewers on LinkedIn. Shows you're serious,
Right, you've gone the extra mile to understand them. The career guide really emphasizes tailoring your answers to the specific company.
Yeah, and while you're at it, think about how your experience and skills align with what you've learned. If they're all about customer service, highlight your track record of exceeding expectations. If innovation is their thing, talk about your passion for staying up to date with technology. Which brings us to an interesting point. What emerging trends in audiology are you most excited about?
Ooh, that's a great question to think about, both for your own career and for the interview. This field is constantly changing, with things like AI-powered hearing aids and telehealth becoming more and more common.
Imagine being able to fine-tune someone's hearing aids from anywhere in the world. That's the future. And showing that you're aware of these advancements tells the interviewer you're not just looking for a job, you're looking to be part of something bigger.
You're invested in the future of better hearing.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about practice. I know it sounds basic, but it makes a huge difference. And don't just rehearse your answers like a robot, Have a conversation with a friend, record yourself, find that natural flow.
Great point. And remember, stories are powerful. They stick with people. So when you're answering, think of specific anecdotes that showcase your skills. Did you help a customer with a really tricky hearing situation? Did you come up with a creative solution? Those are the stories that will resonate.
And don't hold back on the enthusiasm. You're not just selling hearing aids, you're selling the ability to connect with loved ones, enjoy music, hear the world around them. Let that passion shine through.
It's about making a real difference in people's lives. And that brings us back to RoleCatcher's AI, which can help you fine-tune your answers and make sure they hit the mark.
It analyzes those job descriptions, finds those keywords and phrases that hiring managers are looking for, and the feedback on your delivery is invaluable.
That video analysis feature is like having a personal coach, giving you feedback on your body language and everything.
It's a game changer. Oh, and don't forget to follow up after the interview. A simple thank you email goes a long way. Mention something specific you discussed, shows you were paying attention.
Makes it more personal.
Exactly. And remember, the interview goes both ways. It's a chance for you to see if the company is right for you, too. So do your research, prepare your questions, and trust your gut. If you've done all that and been yourself, you're in great shape.
So much great advice. You've got the knowledge, the tools, the confidence. Now go out there and ace that interview. And as you embark on this exciting career path, remember to keep that passion for better hearing alive. It's a field that's constantly evolving, so keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a difference. That's all for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.